Man City and Chelsea are a disgrace. Two of the English teams knocked out from the Champions League. And you know what? This is sensational. All those Man City fans, all those Chelsea fans, I thought y'all was going to go far in the Champions League. What happened? Embarrassed by Real Madrid and embarrassed by PSG. Let's start off with Man City. Firstly, Man City, this is their third straight Champions League knockout against Real Madrid. Third straight UEFA Champions League knockout against Real Madrid. Out in the round of 16, 3 years to the same team. That's what Man City are doing. Pep clearly hasn't learned how to play against Real Madrid. He's still getting beaten by them after all these years. He hasn't learned. Man City and Pep are finished. Firstly, in the Premier League, they can't even beat West Ham. They can't even catch up to Arsenal. They've not been playing well. Haaland is not performing. They have players in the team that are not performing. And let's talk about Bernardo Silva. He is their captain. Bernardo Silva is probably, if not the most experienced player at the Man City team. And 20 minutes in the game, he gets a he does a handball and he gets a red card. And that was a deliberate handball from Bernardo Silva. And you know what? Him being the captain, him being the leader of the team, someone who's supposed to motivate them, and for him to get a red card in 20 minutes with a handball and to give Real Madrid a penalty, which Vinicius stepped up and scored, is a joke, man. Imagine your captain, right? You're 4-0 down or 3-0 down, and your captain goes in at home, you're playing at the Etihad, and he gives in a penalty from a handball, and he's sent off. He is sent off. What a joke. What a embarrassing start from Man City. And you know what, as a United fan, this is sensational because I don't want Man City to win another Champions League. I don't want them to catch up on United in Champions League. They're already not far away from us in Premier Leagues. Of course, I wouldn't want them to catch up to us in Champions League. And it's so good because every time they play Real Madrid, you always see City fans saying, you know what, it's Real Madrid, we're going to beat them. Next year is our year, this year is our year. It's always going to be the same result. There's always a chance that Real Madrid will produce something against Man City. This is Real Madrid we are talking about. I find the disrespect to Real Madrid to be a joke because how can you, as a fan that you know Real Madrid have won so many Champions League, you disrespect them, even if their form hasn't been that well in La Liga, even if they had players missing, because we've seen in the first leg, they had Mbappe missing, they had Bellingham missing, and they still smashed City. They still smashed them. So don't ever doubt Real Madrid and the Champions League heritage. That's all I have to tell you guys, because Real Madrid, 80% of the time, they will perform in the Champions League, no matter the opposition. Anyway, let's talk about Man City a bit more, because you know what, right? That was a defensive collapse. They collapsed defensively, right? No fight back spirits. I know they performed better in the game yesterday than in the first leg. But still, man, the game was lost. The game was lost after 20 minutes. So, and in the first leg, they was finished because Valverde, hat-trick, they was gone already. They was defeated in the first leg because Pep went to the Bernabeu with the ego. And you know, Pep always does these weird things. I don't know, in Champions League games, he always does weird things. And he thought, you know what, Real Madrid is like a wounded animal. Oh, we're just going to go there. I'm going to play Semenyo in the 10. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Bro, he got destroyed. And clearly, he doesn't learn. He does not learn, Pep. You know what, yeah, Pep, bro, your time is up, man. Anyway, second leg, home advantage. They conceded a pen. You know, Haaland gets one back, but Vinny kills it in the end, and Real Madrid win 2-1. Pep post-match, he said he praised the efforts. I don't know what he really meant by that because the game was over. For me, the game was over, right? And the thing is with City, elite teams like Madrid will punish them. They will punish them. They could probably get away with some middle teams, mid teams in the Premier League or even some mid teams in the Champions League. But when you are playing an elite team like Real Madrid, no matter who the coach is, no matter whether they have their star players, if you make a mistake, you will get punished. And we've seen that in the first leg and now in the second leg. And you know what, yeah? City and Pep are no longer untouchable. For me, they are not untouchable. There's massive holes in Man City from Pep to the players to everything. And you know what? Man City have a massive squad. They have endless money. But they still can't beat Madrid. They still cannot beat Real Madrid. So where is the progress? Where is the progress? This is not only happening in the Champions League, by the way. This is evident in the Premier League as well. After the 1-1 draw to West Ham, it is quite clear that Arsenal may win the Premier League. And all because Man City have allowed Arsenal to win the Premier League. I know Arsenal have been good, right? But Arsenal have been good because they've been winning games from set pieces. They haven't been playing well. They haven't been playing well. If Man City were about their business, this league, Man City would have wrapped this league up. I'm telling you, because you know what, yeah? Man City are bottlers now. That's what they are. That's what they are. This may be harsh, but they've bottled the league. They've bottled the Premier League already after drawing to West Ham. And now they've out of the Champions League. They bottled it. Their season is done. No Premier League, no Champions League. They have a cup final at the Carabao Cup against Arsenal. But now, where's the team's motivation going to be? Where are they going to be? Where are their heads going to be? Bernardo, after the red card, after being drawn to West Ham, humiliated by Real Madrid, I don't think they're going to win the cup final. The cup final is more of a mentality factor. And right now, Arsenal have a better mentality factor than City. And I think Arsenal are going to beat them in that final. And Pep and Man City are going to go trophyless. That is my verdict on Man City. Anyway, let's talk about Chelsea, Blue Co FC, Todd Bowley FC, the mighty Blues from London. Let's talk about them because they are another team that their fans were running their mouth after they won the Club World Cup and saying that they're going to challenge for the Premier League. They're going to challenge for this. They're going to do this in the Champions League. Bro, Chelsea embarrassed at home by PSG. It was 8-2 the full score. And this was a thrashing by PSG. 5-2 in the first leg, right? 5-2. And now 3-0 at Stamford Bridge. I believe they were like 2-0 down yesterday in 15 or 20 minutes, bro. At home, at your home ground. Bro, Chelsea are in a troubled situation. Because now, in the game yesterday, there was no response. There was no pride. Where was the proper Chelsea? Where was the attitude? Where was it? Non-existent, bro. Non-existent. And I expect way more from Chelsea. And this is an absolute joke, right? PSG made them look like a mid-table side. And Chelsea don't have players like that. Chelsea have good players. They have good players. They have players like Enzo Fernandez. They have, who else they have there? They have like, what's this guy? One of the defenders. I know he's Reece James, but I think he was not playing. I'm not sure if he was playing. But they have some good players at Chelsea, and for them, what about Caicedo? Caicedo. They have good players, right? Anyway, bro, you know what? Yeah, this was just a comeback. There was no comeback from Chelsea. This was pure domination by PSG. Chelsea couldn't even create anything. I believe they had 0 shots on target at home. Defensive errors everywhere. And this has been a story about Chelsea. The defense is a joke. Chalobah, Tosin, they have crap defenders. Crap defenders. Their midfield with Enzo, Caicedo, and like Reece James. Those are good players. But the defense is a joke, man. And João Pedro. João Pedro is also good. But now we got to talk about the manager, Liam Rosinha. I don't know where they got this guy from. But this guy is not good enough, and this is evident, right? This guy has been exposed in a bad way. He has been exposed, and you know what? Everything is out now. The Chelsea fans have probably had enough of him. You know how Chelsea are. The owners and the fans don't give anyone time. But to be fair, Liam Rosinha, what has he proven? What has he proven? This is going to come back and bite Chelsea in the ass because they sacked Enzo Maresca and he was covering up the errors at Chelsea. Now, bro, you know what? Yeah, Chelsea, I don't see them doing much. They have a big squad, but they don't have good players. They just have quantity over quality. It's supposed to be quality over quantity, but they just have a bunch of players that are not proven, that are not good. Maybe 3 or 4 of them are, but the rest are not good. And this has been the joint heaviest UEFA Champions League defeat. The score was 8-2 at full time. You know, $1 billion spent, but can't compete. That is the story of Chelsea. And you know what, yeah? This Champions League night has shown me something, that Premier League teams are an embarrassment. That the Premier League teams cannot compete in the Champions League. I know Arsenal beat Leverkusen. I may do a separate video on that, but that was Leverkusen. That was not a Real Madrid. That was not a PSG, with all due respect. And the only team left from the Premier League in the Champions League is Arsenal. But keep in mind, can Arsenal beat Madrid? Can they beat Bayern Munich? Can they beat PSG? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is phenomenal. Chelsea and City out. I don't want them to be winning Champions League, you know. I don't want teams to be catching up to United. We have 3. I don't want them to get any more. Anyway, this has been Jordan Talks Football. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. Peace.